Put your cursor down towards the bottom in the middle of the screen.
Okay. Can you guys hear us now? I'm gonna have to give that. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
give that.
see, now it's live. Okay, so we have to start again.
Okay. Do you want to start or?
Yeah, I'll start. And leave this as your screen. Okay, guys, I know that we're live right now, and I can see my meter, and I can see Kevin's. So we got it fixed. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, welcome to Email Halbertising Module 5. The important part of this is we're going to start showing you some bleeding edge technology. And for that, right now, in the coming year, which has not out there, in fact, you rarely see it at all if you see any, is some of the techniques that Kevin's going to show you. But what really makes what he just saw incredible is that, or what you guys got in your email, which you can't fully see the beauty of it, because what it will do is the way he's got it set it up, you send out an email, and if that person's device will allow you to, it'll start playing a video. And if that person's device will not allow you to play a video, it will then serve up whatever you consider to be the next best content, either an animated GIF or an animated PowerPoint presentation. And the beauty of that is that you get to send them stuff that's interactive and that's got motion. And things with motion attract more attention than anything else. If you're on the freeway, the person who gets your most attention, somebody who's whizzing by faster than everybody else or going much slower than everybody else. It is the change in motion that gets attention. And from a static email, any motion right now is super exciting. So and also the video, and it's another step. They don't have to go to a web page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Kevin, and then afterwards I'm going to give you some ideas on how to use this technology in the PowerPoint presentations, the GIFs, and the videos to grab attention and get people to click on the links and start the videos and so forth. More of the marketing strategic use of it. But I'm going to let Kevin go ahead and explain how this thing works, because it's just absolutely fantastic. And if we get this worked out, we'll also be showing you a video which shows how the exact same email you got will look different on your Mac computer versus your iPod versus your iPad versus a PC computer, because it's all dependent on the system. So the exact same email, for example, that I sent to Lawton, he sees a totally different thing depending on the devices he's on. Okay, so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kevin.
Okay, so Juan, if you just watch the chat, make sure we're getting this done because we have this huge delay. Is the freshest chat the stuff at the top or the bottom?
It's the stuff at the top, and we're okay. They're starting to hear us now. We're broadcasting live, and I see our meters for the mic are working. So you're good to go, okay. And I will interrupt you if there's any questions or something you need.
Okay. There is one little snag I've got, but I think I can fix it. Okay. So the thing is that this stuff isn't new. What we're doing is doing new stuff with this stuff. The silent videos that we're using are animated GIFs. Most people don't even think of using, which is just another form of a banner ad. But banner ads are actually usable inside of an email. But nobody is using them in two key important ways. One is they're not using it to use a live moving person. So animated GIFs, as you see, as banner ads are pretty annoying, and Punch the Monkey and all that other annoying carnival stuff. You see, it's stuff that my dad hated so much. But the thing is that given a different image and a sequence of images, it's just like a flip book. It's a sequence of images that makes for a silent video. There's actually a new thing where I just discovered the other day where you can actually attach YouTube soundtracks to your stuff. I mean, I don't think you can sync the timing of it, but you can have a theme or some background music playing at the same time. So, but the other way is that these flip books are not being, or these anime GIFs are not being used in one very, very powerful way, which is to use it as a PowerPoint presentation, which is very nice because of the way that the GIFs compiled sometimes, depending on the software you get. It's very, very lean and very, very, very efficient in that you know, if you're putting up a PowerPoint slide presentation, as you guys saw, you saw me send you one that wasn't really ideal for an email, but it was ideal for a demonstration to you guys to show that I could show like 5 words on the screen and build on that screen. And because of the way GIFs move, if something in part of the image doesn't move, it doesn't add any new data to the second frame, so it saves all this so you don't have to add any more megabytes to the frame. So frame after frame after frame, all it does is log the change, and that's a tiny amount of change unless you go from complicated pick to a new complicated pick. So it becomes very lean and efficient. And we know VSLs capture the eye, and you know, basically what we're doing is we're adding a video billboard you would see going down Vegas Boulevard or somewhere in Los Angeles, where you can't hear the sound, but you can certainly sell the hell out of anything you want silently. It's where, you know, people are paying millions of dollars to put these signs up just to run basically what we're doing here in an email. And then the third thing, which is the really bleeding edge stuff, is the advent of HTML5, and now that it's universally accepted, is that you've seen my video, which I call inbox videos, because everyone's got these images that they put inside their emails with a fake layover of a play button that actually takes them out of the email and jumps them into another web page and a bunch of other stuff, which is a pain in the ass, and it doesn't work as well, and this is much more lean and efficient, but also it works inside of mobile, so you can check out your mobile stuff depending on your mobile. Gmail's not playing nice right now, but you know, iPads, iPhones, all that other stuff, your message is being seen right in there, right in the email box. And the thing is, I'll show you something here. You guys, when I send out this email, what, a day ago, 2 days ago, let's see if nothing crashes, we have a 257% open rate from you guys. And not everybody opened the email. Those that opened it, on average, opened it 5 times. So you know, I think you guys are getting the value of what's going on here. So, anyways, what you guys really want to know is how do we do this stuff? And so let's try to do that. I lost my notes, but I got my iPad here. So let's just see if we can do this. So we already talked about the types of moving images. So let's start making one. Let me see if OpenOffice, oh, you know what? OpenOffice may have screwed me up, which I need badly for this trick. All right, well, maybe we can do this part later. What I'm going to do is basically what I was going to show you in OpenOffice is how to create each individual slide that makes for one of the frames of the animations. I will try, let's see, one last time to kill this thing and see if I can do a reboot on it on the app. Let's see here. Doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. Okay, that's not going to cooperate. Well, let's do this. I can do one of two things. I can either reboot my computer and try to get OpenOffice working again, or what we'll do is we'll go on to one of the other tricks. Now this one's...
Go on to one of the other tricks for sure.
Okay.
So we can always cover that in a separate video on showing them how to put together the animated slides.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I'm just showing you how to get it done. It's not really the secret tech, but we'll get into the other secret tech. Not secret. Okay, there's 2 animation programs, one for Mac users, it's called GIF Brewery, but there's another animation program that will work great called Free Video to GIF Converter. Okay, and here it is. It's video-gif-converter.com. Okay, and you go there, it's free, you download it, and you install it. And
why don't you paste that link in the chat? Oh, you can't do that. I'll do that.
Okay, I've got it here. It's right here.
But you'd have to stop sharing your screen to post it in chat. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. What's it called again?
Video-gif-converter.com.
Video-gif one F.
Yeah.
GIF. I'm a horrible.
And they hate it. The true way to pronounce it is GIF, but you'll never get me to say it the legal way. Okay. and GIF Brewery is the Mac equivalent. Now, when we get to the end, there's some really powerful software that does some really trick stuff that me and Bond are using for a launch in June. But we're not. It's a little too far advanced for this. Okay, so you're going to download and install this program, and when you get the program and open it on a PC, it's going to look like this. Okay. Is my screen showing? I think you're overriding my screen, Bond. How is it that I'm not?
Sorry, I'm going to mute my microphone so that won't happen.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, let me see. I want to refresh to make sure you guys are seeing this.
I was seeing it. Go ahead and launch it again.
Okay.
That's working.
Okay. So, anyways, you guys just interrupt me, and I'll just go along as if everything's working fine. Like Google doesn't have a terrible platform. Okay. So, what we want to do is I made some MP4s off my phone. That was the, hey, I'm Kevin Halber, I'm going to do some bleeding edge stuff. Come over and check it out. Check out the details at the bottom of this thing. And it's one of these two videos. One was converted for the real video, but right now we're going to convert it to the silent video. Okay, so the silent video is, let's see, let's just for efficiency do the smaller one. But I would recommend using the raw image because this will smash it down. Okay, the other thing you want to do here is for what we're planning, we want to change these sizes because we're going to be using a template that already has some dimensions in it, which is 320 by 176. I believe is 176. And we can choose the number of frames per second. If we wanted this to be real live animated frames, you know, we'd be running somewhere around 24 frames a second. But we can do we'll just do 20 for now to just demonstrate the thing, okay? And that's all we're doing. Now, what we're going to do. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. What I'm going to go back is when you click next, all it does is basically take you to this tab. You'll see this tab change. Okay, now what we have here.
Devin, it's not showing your screen live. It's kind of stuck on the free video to GIF converter. So stop sharing, then share again.
Okay. This could be a nightmare. All right. Let me see if I minimize this screen.
There. Now we're seeing your screen again. So.
Can you see this little?
No, we see a bunch of girls in postcards.
Oh no, okay, that's the screen saver for the webcam app.
Okay, yeah, now we see it. Go ahead.
Okay, you can see this?
Yes, that we can see.
Okay. As you can see, we have a. Okay, let's go back because I don't want anyone confused. What we want to do is go choose a video that we've made. I'm using MP4 videos. We're going to choose one out of our directory. It's going to choose open, and we wanted at 320 by 176. Okay, and we're just going to run the 20 frames per second. Okay, and when we hit this next button, all we're doing is really tapping.
We're seeing that screensaver again.
So are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, just go ahead, launch the thing that you showed before, and just go from there.
Why does it keep dropping out? I might have to do this on like my netbook or something. Okay, hold on.
I think you need to start sharing after you've launched the program.
Okay, let me do that then.
So you launch it, then stop sharing and start sharing again.
Okay. App's launched.
Okay, now we can see it.
Okay.
Just go from right where you are.
Okay, okay, you need to be quiet, so, well, okay. All right. One more time. Third time's a charm. Okay, so we launched video to GIF converter. We're going to browse for a file. We're going to choose our file, which we're going to just choose the smaller one because I had done some changes on it. Do a 320 by 176, I believe. And we're going to hit this next button, which is the same as hitting on this tab, which will take us to the next step in the sequence. Actually, I left it at 10 frames a second. So we'll just leave it there at 10 frames a second. It might be a little herky-jerky, but that's fine. So we're choosing the normal, smaller file size. We're doing this in an email. And also, by the way, we're not hosting this out of or any email host. We're going to host that somewhere else on our WordPress site, or what you really want to do is get like an Amazon S3 account, which is dirt cheap, and you can sign up for an S3 account with your plain old Amazon login, everything else. I don't think you have to have a separate sign up as an industrial thing. You can, if you've been buying Kindle books or whatever, you can still use that account to set up your account. Anyhow, so what we have here is that the program has broken out the video into individual frames for the video. So if we hit here and we click.
Hold on, we can't see that. Just stop and start sharing again.
Wow. Okay.
That's okay. Listen, I don't blame Webinar Jam on this one because we're surfing the internet and broadcasting and hosting at the same time. So just start. Now I'm showing your desktop. There it is. Now you see the frames broken up.
Okay.
I'll just tell you when that happens.
Oh yeah, keep going. All right. So what we have here is the individual frames. So what we want to do is you can see that it's been broken down. If you watch the video, you can see that I'm sequencing through my words, right? Okay, so one of the things you can do is edit this frames down. So one of the things you do is you just take, if you want to, like, say you want to get rid of 10 frames or something like that till you get to a certain point in the sequence, you can snip the front end off by just hitting this button. You cannot select multiple frames. You just have to keep continually hitting remove. Okay? So you can do it at the end. If you start at frame, in this case frame 100, it'll go upwards actually if you start at the very end. So that's how you can trim off the beginning and the end of a video. I would highly suggest that you start with a short of original video so that you don't have to search through all of it, especially a silent video, to get to the point where you have just the places you need. So shorter to begin with. And that's it. I choose same as video store. Source, and we just click make GIF, and then we just choose a GIF name, email secrets. How about revealed? Okay, and that's it. We opened it. Okay, our screen keeps changing. Don't worry, I'm going to retoggle it. So I'm going to turn this off and on again. And as you can see, this system made a GIF animation video, and this thing will auto start and be on an auto loop. So basically, all we have here right now is just a for as far as browsers are concerned, email clients are concerned, anything, we're actually serving them a still image. So when it comes to getting this GIF, only thing you have to do is put it into any email as if you just put in any other picture. The thing is that you can go in and let's see if I can show you if it matters. We'll do an upload to. Sorry, I was reading the checks. I'm reading Carl's text. So there's. Anyhow, so I'll show you now. We'll toggle the screen out. Let's see if I can do it. No, that's Internet Explorer. I don't trust it. I'll show you how we can get this into an email, okay? Just for those that just need that step by step. Okay, so I just realized what the game is. This thing is that it's not sharing a screen. It's sharing a window. So the next deal is we want to. I'm going to open up Firefox. Very cumbersome. Okay, so let me reshare. Okay, now hopefully we won't have to do this for every tab we do. Okay, so we're going to open up one of our websites. We're going to halbertising.com. Okay, and we're going to go. Okay, we're going to go over here, and we have media, and we have add new. Okay, so all we have to do is drag and drop files there. So let's see if I can do this without losing the screen if it gets toggled in and out. So we want to go fish that image out of our folder, and we're going to just drag and drop it right here, and the image just got uploaded. Now let's see if you guys are still with me. Oh yeah, you're still with me.
It's still flowing.
Okay, good. Just hit me up whenever it breaks. Okay, so we can look in the library here and look at this. Okay, there I am with my GIF right there. Okay, now let's just do a pages, add new. Actually, we don't want to do. I'm sorry, we don't want to do this a page add new. We'll do it just for giggles. Now let's skip it. We got time. So what we want to do is go to the media, go to library. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place because of all the confusion. We're going to go back to this image, click on it. Okay, over here is the file link URL. So you can do a Control A or select all, whatever you want to do, and copy this. Okay, and then when you head over to get response, where is get response? There it is. Okay. Okay, so we can go to message, create newsletter. You can, I believe you can do this. Demo email, demo email. That's fine. Just go next step. I just want a blank one. Don't I have a blank one? Sorry. Plain text. Let's see. Screw it. Let's just choose one. No, it's not going to.
Kevin, just go ahead and use one of our existings.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't use these templates. Let's go back in here and do this again in a different way.
All you have to do is take that one right there, and you click on it because you're going to reuse it, or any of those in there.
Let's see. So we got a draft. Oh, I don't want to mess with that one. Oh, yes, I do. Let's do that one. Okay. test image with link. Next step. We're going to do this in an HTML format instead. Over here, we have these a piece of text in here, which I'm going to give you guys this template. Okay, but you can take just this piece of text. Let me make sure it's the GIF. Okay, this starts with the what is it, less than or greater than symbol, and ends right here. Okay, you can take that whole area. Okay, that you can copy that and paste it into any HTML code for any email that you want to use. Okay, and so what we did, because this is a placeholder for the other GIF, but I can replace this GIF with my new GIF. Okay, the other thing is here, the reason I want you guys to use this code is because you can use a simpler code, but what this code does is after this href equal signs and then open quote right here, this area right here, that is a space where you can put a link in so that if they click on the GIF, it'll take them somewhere, an order page, a squeeze page, anything you want. So you need to go in and custom make a link in here to whatever page you want it to go to. So it's an anchor text link. But the thing is, and then here's the alt text. This is the area you put text in case their images are turned off. This is where you say, hey buddy, check out my crazy dog doing whatever, and something to bait them into turning on images to see it. Or you can put a sales message in there saying, hi, I'm going to do a webinar, come and check it out. You put it in there in case their images are turned off. But this is where you paste the image that we got out of the WordPress. Remember we got that out of the WordPress? And you just do an edit, paste, and I'm going to send a test image to myself. Hopefully I'll be able to open that without too much trouble. Okay, let's see if I can get into my email without crashing the system. Yeah, Tim, I'll paste the code in there in chat. Might as well. Okay. You guys got it. It's the least I can do for all the trouble we've had here. And I'm going to give you guys this whole template so you guys could actually rip off the entire email we sent you that was such a teaser, okay? And I know this is a laborious thing. Paste. Okay? So just remember the three sections here in that certain writing is your link that you're going to put in between those quotation marks, the words you're going to tell them to see if they have images turned off, and the actual GIF that you're going to post. The trick here is that what we're doing is we're going to a WordPress site, and when people go and open their email, GetResponse is not sending out the image. GetResponse is sending out details that tells your computer or the device or the email client where to go get the picture to put in the middle of the email, and that is a lot better because GetResponse is not an image hosting service, but your website is. But I highly recommend if you're going to use the videos or anything else that you go into an Amazon S3 account, which is dirt cheap, and they don't charge you monthly, and they just charge you as you go as to how much you use. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so looks like I might have gotten emails open. Hopefully I get this test email. I can show you guys exactly that it worked. Give it a moment. This is where things take a bit. Share. We sent that email 2 days ago. Bond, do you know if she was on the list?
No, the email, yeah, the email was sent day before yesterday, so it should have gone out on the 13th.
But was she
And,
on the list?
oh, yeah, she is. She's completely on the list because I make sure that, I sent them from it. So, but I can double check.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now I can bring this in. I might have to toggle off the screen again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to toggle it off. We now know what's wrong with. Okay. Okay. See, this is the original email. I just hacked it and changed one part of it to show you where I put that insertion point. Okay, and now this was never. I just made this on the fly. I didn't have this pre-made. This was something I made right in front of you and attached to the thing and get response. Now, one of the things that we have to tell you is that we're kind of hacking the system. Okay, you can probably get away with this and get response. Like I said, I don't normally navigate it where you can put this code in and it's a WYSIWYG and it can just say image URL link. You guys put in images in your emails all the time. So all you need to do is put that GIF in there and say where it's coming from after you've uploaded it to a WordPress site or your Amazon site. But you can see it's playing here. It plays automatic. It plays on a loop. And one of the things that I would like to do is do it where you have a person like the old Bob Dylan song where he's singing the song but he's holding up these cue cards that have all the lyrics that he's doing. So it's one way to bait people into opening the email or taking interest. But I just think that we know none of these tricks are worth anything if they don't change your response rate or your click-through rates or anything else. These are not tricks just to we know that VSLs have 3 times the response rate. We know that their attention span is very, a whole lot longer. And a video that's one less step closer to when you normally want to get someone to watch a video is a lot easier. So anyhow, yes, Carl, so WordPress does act as the image host, or whoever we're going to use. We can show you in an S3 account. I'll show you, let's do an S3 account upload, and I'll show you guys how that works. And it should be simpler than you think. So I'm going to turn off this screen sharing again to get back to okay, so we're back in again. Figured out that game. And let's go into our S3 count. Okay, when you sign up for S3, don't worry about it too much getting this all perfect. We're just kind of documenting it in case you do end up with an S3 account, which is a far better way to go when it's serving up this stuff. So we have images here in a bucket, and I'm going to go into the teaser video one, and I'm going to upload that video, that teaser video, into the thing. So we're going to say click Add Files, and we made that. The easiest way for me to find it is to do a. So I find that file that we made back with free GIF. What was it? Free GIF to video to GIF animator, and we've added it here, and we just say Start Upload, and that's done. It's uploaded. Now the thing is, where is it? There's email secrets revealed. So when you click on this, I right-click on it, and we got several things we're going to do with properties. But one of the critical things here is that you click Make Public. If you don't do that, you don't get anything. No fun for anybody. Okay? It's just asking you if you're sure, and you say OK. So make that image public, and then it'll start getting served up. Now the other thing you want to do is go down and hit Properties. This is all a right-click on a PC. So, but I think you can click on Properties here. Here is your link. So you can click, select all or copy link location. And there you go. You're armed with the same this is the same place where you'd go in to this area and and you'd want the one that ends with the GIF, right? and you paste it in here. I'm not going to go and send it out again. It's because it's just going to be hosted. It's going to be the exact same image, just hosted out of Amazon instead. Okay. So first and foremost, the gifts are like very tenacious things. I mean, especially there's another app that is where it sets up the GIFs. It plays automatically. It's so automatic that it plays and it won't stop anywhere. You see it in your WordPress library. It's animated the whole time it's there. It's animated in my Gmail on my phone constantly. It's animated. The thing is like the codec that was used to decode GIF files. Like no one was able to extract that it would play animated GIFs. So it's like only Gmail, I think, is the only person, and I think Microsoft Office 2007 or something is the only ones that are able to shut it down. It's like this cockroach that won't die. So it's really cool that it will always play. So anyways, the S3 account. The S3 account is also the place we really want to host the real live video. Now I'm going to try and do another piece which I want to show you is how to do the VSLs. Unfortunately, we know I can't open Office and show you how to make the individual slides, but I have the individual slides prepared. So basically all you want is a sequence of images. If you want your GIF to be animated, you can create it in Photoshop. I've done it there. I've created it in video editing software like Corel Video Studio Pro. But anyways, you want them all to be the same dimensions, and what you do is you just create your sequence. So when I do, hi, welcome to, you guys saw, I think everybody there, everyone who received these emails 2 days ago that opened all of these suckers 5 times, knows that when they've opened it in certain apps, like a Gmail account, if they forward it to their Gmail account, it's fantastic in iOS devices. But if you open in the Gmail account, you didn't get the video. What you got was the VSL. You got the animated GIF with the words building on the screen like a VSL. So anyhow, I'm losing my train of thought. Let's see if there's a couple questions. No, it's module something, guys. Why don't you post your Bond, can you forward it? You have it out of your personal email address. Can they give you your email address and you can forward it out to them? I think one of the nice things, and I'm not 100% sure about it, is that if you get it through one account and you forward it to another account, they don't necessarily mess with the code. So I think the code still works in whatever platform it ends up in. It doesn't like end up in Gmail broken and then you send it back to, say, an iOS and then it's permanently broken so the iOS won't work. I believe the code is so raw that when it gets forwarded back and forth and all around, it never gets changed. So if it didn't work on a Gmail device, I believe you can forward it out to an iOS device and it'll work like it's supposed to, even if it hit the iOS.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get it to you, share. But the thing is, no, this one wasn't sent out on my personal. Remember, what I did was create a special get response list of all the people who are on our who are on the.
Here, you know what? I can.
So it has to be sent out from get response or forwarded straight. So I'll tell you what, if you can just pop
I'll send it to her right now. I've got it.
Yeah, just forward the email and it'll work.
This is the latest one with my updated.
And thanks, Mandy.
Bad recipient address. Oh, I got it. It's my fault. I copied too much of her. Just give me a second, guys. I know you're not seeing anything on your screen. Okay. We're gonna have to cut this. Is her email address showing on the screen? We got to cut that out of the video.
No, don't worry about that. In fact, go ahead with the presentation. What I'll do is have Cher send me the private message, give me her email address, and we'll send it to her.
Okay, so we gave that a shot. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is something a little different, and there's another app that will do this for us. Okay, and I need some help finding it. Let me go here in my notes. We want to use an app called, so it's actually not an app, it's a website, which is really cool because it works. Okay. Okay, you guys. Called giftmaker.me. Okay. This is a website. It's really cool. All you need is to make sure you have Flash enabled, so I'm not going to be able to do it on my iPad, obviously. But this is a place where you just upload those separate images you made in a Word, say, I use OpenOffice Impress to create the individual slides for the VSL. I think this also would be a fantastic thing for selling if you converted a doodle art video. You know, I think doodle art would create so much curiosity they'd have to click on it and turn it on if they just had the animated GIF. And it'd be totally compelling if you just sent it out as a straight up small video. But anyways, we're going to click here and just click upload images, and we're going to go into my drives. Okay, so here's the raw slides here that I have, that I made for that presentation you saw, and you're going to see it happen right here. So I just put them in sequence. I put a numbering scheme after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also easy when you save the slides out of. I won't tell you everything, but in the slides in the OpenOffice, if you click on each individual slide and you right-click, you go down to Export, not Save As, and it'll export that slide, and then you can choose a JPEG or whatever, make it a GIF, and then save it out. And you can save out these things one by one in OpenOffice.org. OpenOffice, and it's in the Impress section. You'll be able to create separate GIF files for each frame of the slide you have in your show. So here we go. We put them in, and they all open up, and they just shot up into the website. And you can see right now. Let me see if I can make this larger. I can't enlarge the screen here, but you guys can see here it's playing out the video that you that you guys all received in your email, if you received it on a Gmail account. Otherwise, you got the better version, which is me talking to you on a video. Okay, but here's where we're going to put those dimensions in, which was what, 320 by I think 176. Okay, 176. And the thing is, this app, it's going by way too fast, okay? And the thing is, we know that milliseconds, if milliseconds is thousands of seconds, so if we put this into 1,000 seconds, this frame rate will change to 1 frame per second. So if we do 2,000, obviously do 1 frame for 2 seconds, or if we do 500 milliseconds, it'll do half a frame. And this is how long it takes, it cycles through each frame of those 10 frames or whatever that I lined up. So for I think this presentation, I did it at 1,000 milliseconds, so that it was one second per each change in the screen. And I left this at 100%. For some reason, it's not letting me change, but I didn't have a problem with that before. But I wouldn't worry about that, because if you save your frames out or open it up in Photoshop, you can make these dimensions before it gets even imported into the site. So 176. We'll just leave it at 50%. It doesn't matter. So it's running at 50%. Who cares? And here's where you can put a YouTube music URL if you like. Okay? So you can put a YouTube music URL that will play some energizing music for an infomercial soundtrack if you want. There's some really trick stuff that's so bleeding edge. We'll get to that later for those that can still bear to be in this webinar. So anyways, and you just click Create Now, and you see down here it says please. Okay, here is view the GIF animation, view the framation, download the GIF image now. And the nice thing is this sucker doesn't even watermark anything. As far as I know, it doesn't do anything selfish, and so. We can view the image itself, the GIF playing, which we've already actually seen, and I don't know what it's doing different here, actually, to tell you the truth. But it doesn't matter. So we'll just close that down. Okay, so we're back here. The point is you can download the GIF image just like you download anything. Click your Save As file and choose where it wants to go. Mine's going to go in there, and I can do an open containing folder. The thing is, and you can find out your file name, and then you got your GIF. Your GIF is going to take it and you're going to upload it into Amazon S3, or you're going to upload it into your WordPress site. You're going to get the properties on it to find out the server URL. Make sure that the make public is set on the S3 account, and you're good to go for making these VSLs instead of a motion video. So now, if you guys will look, let me see if there's any questions. Wow, everyone missed this email. Yeah, it could annoy them. And Carl, you're very right, and there's a couple things that I'll explain. But one of the things...
I just want to interrupt real quick and say that what I'm going to do is post a link in the chat, and that chat goes to a video that Lawton did, which will show you that email and how it looks on different devices. So go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, but collect these guys' email, and let's get them what they need. Okay, but one of the mistakes that I learned, which I'm so glad that we had to put on this webinar because of this big launch we have in June, is I realized how bad this thing looks on a small device. So my lesson, or my takeaway from this lesson is, each of these 5 words or whatever, I'm going to not build on the screen as a paragraph, but I'm going to show 5 words at a time at a much larger font, so that I can make better use of this real estate when it's in a small device. But this has worked fine for larger devices, or when a person's at a desktop or something like that. Okay, let me check my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything before we move on. Okay, we got the GIF maker. That's going to get into advanced stuff. Okay. Okay, just as a note, we did my fantasy goal is there's some new stuff coming around. There's another app that is more advanced than this, and it's an app that you have to pay for. And let me find the name of it. It's by mindworkshop.com. Let's look it up for you. Let's see. Well, that ain't it. Let me just do a Google on it.
I just want to pipe in here to laugh.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see.
You got some sort of weird Asian thing going on.
Yeah. Okay, it's called GIF Construction Set Professional. The reason I like this software, that's cheap actually, is that, but this is for an advanced user. But what this does is that if you've looked on the GaryHalbertLetter.com, you guys take note, but I wouldn't leave this webinar to go be distracted by hearing 2 things at once. If you go to the newsletters at the GaryHalbertLetter.com, there's a newsletter that says "From Gary Halbert's own lips to your ears," and it's a VSL selling Clayton make pieces. What was it? This $1,000 or $1,700 copywriting program or something like that. We sold out all of them, and everyone talked about this VSL, and it sucked them in. And the thing was, the trick was, it was white background, black block text. What it starts out as me talking in the camera, and then it goes into an audio recording where where it was very clever, where if I say so myself, that we put words on screen because it was only an audio recording of my dad talking, and so we were just closed captioning it. But when the audio of my dad ended and I went into the pitch to sell the product, I just stayed with words on screen. So I started with a video and I said, listen to this recording. The recording starts playing, closed captioning starts playing, and then after my dad's recording stops, the whole pitch is just me, words on screen as with my voiceover track going. And the thing though was to make that work, which Kevin Rogers, I give him credit for the one that told me how to do this, was not to put a whole paragraph or a whole slide on the screen, was only to show 5 words at a time. But to do that, I needed to time the second my mouth opened to the time I said those 5 words to the time I went to the next set of 5 words that I talked. Okay. Now, if you're creating a VSL, a GIF animation, or something like that, with the apps that we've shown you previously, you could choose how many frames a second. But with this separate product that we're looking at right here, GIF Construction Set Professional, which I've been using, it's amazing, but it's sophisticated and a little more difficult to use, is that you can set the timing of how long that each individual frame stays on the screen. So each individual frame. So basically how the program works is it goes to a frame, and the codec for showing GIFs on whatever program, it hits a frame and it says, how long do you want me to wait here? And it says, I want you to wait 2.5 seconds. Then you can move on to the next frame. And then when it arrives at the next frame, it says, how long do you want to wait here? So each frame is individually programmed for how long it waits on the screen before it allows the next frame to show. So it's very powerful. Yes, you can use fireworks. And there are some other apps that are definitely more, that have these options too. Okay, so that's the way that works. I know we have a 60-second delay. I'm going to look through my notes here. Shoot up any questions you have. Otherwise, we're going to move on to showing you how we do the videos. And that's really advanced stuff. I don't even know if it's going to make it into a replay or anything else here, but that's bleeding edge. And then later on, I'm going to talk about bleeding edge. So I'm going to look through my notes. If you guys got any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Oh, and the other thing on my notes here show that this software that we're talking about right here, the Alchemy MindWorks software, has super paletting. So it has a stream ability to take all those transparencies, like all the black around, like all this black around here is not reproduced every frame. Only thing that gets shown from frame to frame is the change. So it keeps the file a fraction of the size if each one of these was an individual pictures. So with the transparency and the super paletting of compression of colors, it makes these super small so they load super fast and they don't jitter up the client's display of it because it's actually using their CPU to display the stuff. Okay. Did the Amazon? Okay. Okay. One of the things I want to make a note here is that there's something I realized the other day when I received some spam on my phone from Facebook, which was this girl, hi, I liked your profile. Can you come and visit me? I don't work too well on this app. Can you go over here to, whatever. And the thing was, you knew it was spam, but what they did was clever, which is right now, as far as I know, the secret isn't really out to everybody, is that as far as I know, there's no OCR going on in videos, which means there's no spam filter for the words that you use in your GIF animations. So if you've woken up one day and you went, I can't say this, that's the most benign word in the planet, I can't use that because I'm going to be on my spam filters. Now, those keyword blocking things have been reduced a little bit with the new algorithms and the new policies by them. But the thing is that you can say anything you want that you can't necessarily say in the text of your email because everybody's listening. All the powers that be will keep you from listening. So that's another very powerful reason to use these. If anything, it could be the only reason you decide to bother with all of this is because your spam trigger words aren't going off. Until I know that Google is doing optical character recognition and actually reading the text, there's no spam filtration. Oh, and also there was an announcement 5-6 months ago that Google was caching images. And the thing is that these images that I told you about, we put in the S3 account and we put into the WordPress account. Those are actually, when it goes into a Gmail account, it's getting cached. Because what they would think we're doing was they didn't want to approve emails with an image inside of them, and they got through their filter systems, but before the person opened the email, I could go into my S3 account and change the image that they already approved to hit the inbox of someone else. So I could go in and put a naked girl or whatever I wanted, but because they let it go through, then Gmail was no longer in charge of whether that image, whether the email got blocked or it made it through or anything like that. But what now they do is they cache up to 10 megabytes per image into their own systems, which means they take the image from the S3 account or from your WordPress site that you've been hosting, that you had that URL link. It goes and gets it from there, but then what it does is it copies it into their own computers. And when a Gmail user opens their email, it doesn't go and fetch the image off of the S3 account or the WordPress thing. It comes out of the storage on the hard drives at Google. So that's another thing to know. Okay, so funny, Carl. I can't tell you guys about the launch. Okay, and then what else do we got? Okay, so let's go into the super secret stuff, which isn't really secret. It's just nobody in marketing is using this stuff. So my things went down, so I'm going to have to get all these web pages and these secrets back through doing the searches. So I got this permission from these guys to reproduce this stuff. And they're the ones that actually came up with that as template that you guys have been checking out and discovering. So, okay, so this is what I would call the semi-holy grail of how all this stuff gets figured out. This is the stuff that does media queries, which is a terrible word for saying what device are you using and what does it look like. Is it like a high-resolution device? Is it a mobile device? Is it Chrome? Is it whatever? And then here comes the stuff where all the secret code is that comes in and allows you to display a video. Okay, so basically, remember how I showed you guys how to inject a link into the text, and then it'll replace their video with your video or your GIF animation. So what we want to do is we're going to end up with this text. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a modified, better version of text that I'll send you that has a little bit more powerful things for a marketer. Now, the thing is, what we're doing here is bleeding edge, but the thing is, we have to do it as a hack. So doing it as a hack means we got to go in and do some things that aren't your normal user kind of thing. So we're going to go into the email marketing stuff, and this is what I've converted this to. Okay. Now, one of the things is you guys are all on GetResponse, but because this is a hack, this has got to be done in the HTML mode. I think it'd be only fair to start a new one with you guys to see what I'm doing. Where is the, okay, GetResponse. Okay, go to the dashboard. Okay, so we want to create a new message, create a new newsletter. Okay, and we want to choose HTML source editor. Okay, that's going to give us that black screen code. So, okay. Okay, so I always spell it that way too. So all we're doing is just filling out these forms to get going. We're going to the next step. Okay, we got our black screen, which I think you can switch it to the opposite side. But in any case, we got our screen here, and what we did, normally if you really got stuck or you lost with the things I was telling you about, you could copy this email and inject it right here. But I would highly suggest you use mine instead for a couple reasons as marketers. Okay, and whatever you do, when you get into this stuff, do not hit Show WYSIWYG. If you even hit that once, you have to start all over. Never touch this link down here. Okay, so we get our black screen, and this is the text we actually want to copy and paste into it. And it's a nice thing is even though this is a hack, it works on GetResponse. So I'm going to give you guys the copy of this stuff and paste it. I'm just going to give you a little tour of this. Okay, so I guess a better way to explain it. So I would you guys are just going to copy that stuff, go into your own custom black screen right there, and just hit. Ah, crap! Did I just do it? That's right. Go back here, and sometimes you can't right-click. You just have to go up to the screen, click paste, and we'll get this text in here. There's some few changes I'm going to give you a tour of and explain in a second. But the first thing is let's go back and look at the original that I modified. These are the only areas that you really need to change. Okay, but the thing is when we're running the video, this is what we're basically going to do. Is the way the system works is it tries to give the user a video first. That's our wish. Okay. A couple things though is that between the browser wars, the video that the browser wants depends on the browser, whether it's Safari, whether it's Chrome, or whether it's Internet Explorer. So what happens is because they don't play nice with each other, we have to give them several versions so they can pick out the one that they're willing to display. So we have two versions that we're using here. One is the MP4 mode, okay, which is basically every browser except Firefox. Then we have this mode, which is the OGG mode, okay, which is only Firefox. And so we have to make two different videos and put them in there. And what we're going to do is we have to upload them up into our S3 server, just like an image. So we're not going to go through that again. We're going to upload into a WordPress. But the thing is, one word of caution when it comes to uploading the videos is that the OGG and the MP4, and there's also one called WebM we're going to skip and not deal with right now, is there's an add file type command that has to be put into an htaccess file on an Apache server. Don't need to know all that. What you need to know is that unless you call whoever's hosting your WordPress site and ask them, hey, can you serve up these file types with an .ogg extension or a .mp4 extension or a .wm WebM, then it won't be able to serve it up. But Amazon S3 definitely will, because that's how you guys got the data from us. But if I had uploaded it on my WordPress site, it wouldn't have worked. So the websites won't serve out this type of video unless you go in and put an ad type hack in there. So, but since you're serving video anyways, you should probably be on an S3 account. It's dirt cheap, and like I said, they only charge you as you go. Okay, so these two are the ones. One is for the regular browser, then there's an additional backup for the Firefox browser. And what happens is when this command comes in, to the email comes arriving in and it's being shown on a certain device, if it doesn't recognize this, it just ignores it and then it jumps down to the next one. So if it hits this one first, it goes, oh, I got that, then it doesn't have to go down to the next one. If it misses that, Firefox goes, skip that, I ignore that because I don't recognize that file type, it goes to this file type. Now what happens is that down here, okay, is the source for the backup image. What this means is if the video fails, if it goes into a Gmail account, Gmail's not going to show either of those videos. It's going to show you an image instead. What it will do is show you an image, and here we have one that's listed as a picture, a JPEG. But the nice thing is that we can replace that without a JPEG with our animated GIF. And so what you guys did is if you got an email from us, the email you got from us either had a video of it or it had our VSL animated GIF that was putting the words on the screen in a cycle, in an endless loop. Okay? The other thing is that down here we have to do it again, because this is a fallback in certain browsers that certain other browsers that don't show videos will show this image instead. But this is actually a second backup, and this is exclusively for Android devices, which does the same thing. It knows it's not going to show a video, so all we do is duplicate the exact same link up here and put it down here in the exact same space. It's just coding that repeats it to tell another device, use this image. Okay, so basically we have a video, two types of videos, and then we put our animated GIF in there. So now what we want to do is we have to go in and create these two suckers. Okay, and the way to do that is the MP4s are pretty easy to create because your mobile phone and everything creates it, but we need to squash it down and make it usable for the rest of the world. So what we need now is a piece of software that's for free. It's a great piece of software. See if it'll show up on the screen. Might have to toggle it. Is everybody still hanging with me? Have you guys fallen asleep yet?
I'm with you, but I think you'll have to toggle.
Okay. Well, it hasn't come up yet. Yeah, you have to toggle. Okay, so this is the software. It's called Handbrake, and you can get it at, let me check.
TechSmith.com, right?
No, it's like handbrake.fr. You know what? Can you just Google it for me? It should be handbrake.fr.
Sure, I'll do that. Be right back.
Okay, so here is where we're going to create our MP4. We already have an MP4, but we don't have it in a small, efficient, lean size. So what we're going to do is choose a source here. I'm going to choose that image that I created, which was, so we had a large one. Remember, we had two file types. It's because I made a smaller one of the original big one. And the easiest way for me to find it. Okay, so we have this MP4 is 803, so that's the one that's already been squashed down. Video, email, invite. Okay, here's the one that's 20 megs. See, it says 20 megs right here. And we got it squashed down to less than a meg, so 1/20th the size. So it's going to load much more efficiently, quickly, and everything else. So that was that image that we turned into a GIF, that video. We're just loading it up here, okay? And where our destination is going to be the MP4, the same file size it's already at. But we do an optimized thing. The other thing I didn't show you, which I'll show you in the code back on the template, is the file size it's saying that the video is. So what we want to do is get out of this giant size and go into a custom. And we want to do a 320 by 176. Okay. And that's going to make it much smaller. And the other thing is we're going to do web optimized. Let's check some of these other filters. The video, but unless it's like a really, you really need a lot of detail, there's a lot of fast moving images, I squash this down to 500 and do 2-pass encoding. It's just a little more extra CPU time, but it'll get you a higher quality compressed image. Okay. Audio, there's no reason to stay with any of this stuff. We want to do a mono, and so we just want a mono, and we don't need 160. We don't need that kind of sound quality. So I'll shoot it down to 112 or 96. Okay, and we don't have any subtitles or any of that other stuff. We'll leave that alone. And then what we're going to do is a destination. We're going to choose a destination. So we're going to send it right back in there. I'll give it a example, and so we're giving it a name, and then we have to click start. Okay, we're going to first pass on the encode, then we're going to second pass. Okay, and we have, I'm not going to go, we can go look in the folder, but you guys have faith that it's in the folder. In fact, I probably can show that it's in there right now. Yeah, see the example right here. So we have that in there, squashed down to 700. You see that was 745 megs. Okay, so it's squashed it down to less than a 20th. So it makes it very lean, very efficient. And so that's how we're going to get our MP4 files that we shot up in our examples, like we put up into the Amazon S3 account. Don't forget to make it public. And if you can get your WordPress web host to serve up the next set of files, then you can do it there. In fact, you could put this one, you could actually put this one up into your WordPress site, because I believe WordPress will serve up an MP4 on most hosting sites, no problem. But now we're going to go into the OGG one, which is not as friendly. Okay, for this, to get into the OGG, the last format, you need to have Firefox. And you need to get a Firefox add-on called Firefog. Okay, so with Firefox, you can go to Tools, which we're using right now, and Add-ons. And
you're going to have to toggle again.
Oh, thanks. Which screen am I looking at? Okay, so we're back here. So we're in the Firefox, and the way I got there was to go to Tools, Add-ons, and then we ended up at the screen. And you're going to search for Firefog, which is right here. Which I just lost it. But anyways, you're going to find Firefog, and you're going to install it. Oh, in fact, you can do the install, and it's easy to find the install. Is to just go to the website, and it'll tell you firefog.org. Okay, and that's where you can get the plugin installed. You don't even have to do it from there. You can just go start using it. But my Firefog, as you can see, it already says my status is already installed. And we just go here and go make web video. Okay, and we're going to select our file. Now I can select. Personally, I would select.
I just want to interrupt and say you got to make sure this works. To get to Firefog, you have to be on Firefox, otherwise it won't let you even at the site.
Right, and well, it won't work. It won't do this trick. You need that. So when we get into using Firefox and we have Firefog installed, and then we go choose make a video, and then we're in this file select area. We're going to go in, and we have that original MP4 that was large, as 20 meg right here. I would suggest working with the original. The more you compress things and move them around, you're going to mess things up. Or you get what we call generation loss. Okay, the thing is that we're going to change this format to OGG here. Okay. Also, it's going to name the file extension something else. We actually want to name it OGG, which is fine. All we have to do is change the name. And then we're going to put the preset size down to 160 meg P, or you can go custom or smaller. Go to advanced options. Okay, and this is where you'd put your video size. Remember, 320 by 176, and we can choose a frame rate, 25 frames a second. It's up to you. Just the more frame rate you use, the more bandwidth you use, and the more download time. Depending on if you have a VSL, we need a tiny frame rate. But then again, we would be using. If you wanted to use a VSL and you were using an auto track over, then you would shoot this down to, say, 1 frame a second. The audio track will still play through fine, but you got 1 frame a second. You've got audio playing, you've got your VSL playing, and you have a tiny file size. So it's freaking beautiful. So we can put a frame rate. I'll just put 25 frames a second here. The bit rate again, I said 500. That's what I like, and it's worked well. I don't mess with the quality. I do the 2-pass encoding. Okay, and the audio, we take it out of stereo, put it into mono. That'll squash our file size down. I don't touch this. I've learned through experience that changing these sample rates can sometimes mess you up to go to 4400 and stuff like that. So maybe someone knows a clear, easy workaround, but I just don't touch it because I've had it make my life miserable. So, and then you just click encode. You're going to have it saved somewhere. And wait a minute, we wanted it in the OGG format. Did this erase? Okay. So make sure that's in that OGG format. Okay. Encode. So, but see, it says OGV. Just change that to a G. Very important. and I'm going to just label as an OGG before the extension, just to let me know that. I'll just put example. It's too confusing. Okay. So it's doing its 2-pass, and we have our video. Remember that video? This is the one you guys have seen. Okay.
We can't hear the audio, but the audio does play. It's the webinar jam won't let us hear the audio.
That's fine. It does play. I just heard it. It just played. So have faith. It works. So we have the done. We've saved the file somewhere. Then we go back. You know, if we want, then we're going into our S3s. We're choosing our uploads. We're choosing our add our files. You can do creation dates because the last 2 things I created were those 2 files, and it'll tell me these 2 files, the OGG and the MP4 files. Well, you know what? Just for fun, I'll upload them for whatever. Who cares? Okay, and then we got to get another one. Which one did I put in? Did you see? Oh, the OGG. So let me put in the MP4. Okay, so we have the MP4. Open that. Now we have 2 files here listed. We've got 2 files here listed, and now we can just do our start upload. They start going up. Okay. Wait a minute. I screwed up, didn't I? Example.ogg. It doesn't matter. Well, I mean, the point is you guys know that we can do these uploads. There's an amp.
Carl's asking if these are all just alternate ways to make the GIF. You know, because you don't need to do all these. No,
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. There's 2 different ways to make these GIFs. One is to just take a video and use that app that will splice it out to separate frames and then turn it into a GIF for you. The other way is that you've created the frames somewhere else and you brought it into the software and you said assemble this into a GIF. Okay? You can't. The one software I use will not export the individual frames. It takes a video, it slices it into frames, telling you. So if you say I have a video that's 10 seconds and you go, I want 10 frames a second, it takes your video and slices it up into 100 frames. And then it shows you, then it goes, all right, take these video that's been sliced into frames and turn it into a GIF animation. And you know, there's this area you select in there where you put in the dimensions. Okay? With the other one, it goes, with that software, it slices the frames. It won't let you save out or export those frames. Those frames are just there, as far as I know, unless there's something changed. It's very simple software. The other software is on the website, which says, look in this folder. See all these see all these images I have saved as GIFs? Turn them into a GIF animation. And it goes, thank you, no problem. Takes your data, uploads it, squashes it and does everything it does, and then spits it back to you, a single file that is a composite of all those individual frames into an animated GIF. And I think it figures it out either by the creation date or by the file numbering name, but somehow it magically knows what frame number 1, 2, 3, you know, the first frame and the last frame are. So that is definitely the answer to that question.
But I thought one of the reasons that we're doing this is so that it'll work on Mozilla browsers as well.
Well, that's where oh, sorry. Well, we're into video. We're not into GIF animations anymore. We're working on video.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're talking about making a real video that is not a trick as far as GIF animations or silent videos, but actually plays audio in the email, in the inbox when it arrives. It won't do it in Gmail, but it'll do it in more than 50% of all email accounts. I think it's 62%. So it's worth the money if you've got any kind of conversion, because the conversion jump is where to bother to make a video that more than half the people will be able to see it, and having some kind of alternative, which is our GIF animation, for those that can't. Okay, so so the thing is that we have our stuff uploaded, and we can okay, there's the MP4 example MP4. So they made it in, and the thing is, as again, make public, say okay, we'll do this one. Well, I wish we had a different example, because then you guys wouldn't know, see a fresh example. You're going to see the same video you've seen. But right click properties, and you get the, oop, I hit the back button. It doesn't matter. Okay. So we have our example. We've already made it public. Go to properties, and we have our email link. This whole HTTP dot, and it ends at MP4. And what we do is we go in, copy this, and we go back into our email. And so we only have to search for a couple sections in this whole pile of stuff. Okay? And it's in here. So the thing was, I think I pulled out a copy of, this was the MP4. So when you go into the MP4, all we have to do is find their original template in either email on assets thing or the custom template we're going to send you, and paste in right here. Don't knock out the quotes. Everything that starts from the HTTPS to the MP4 will get pasted in. I'm not going to actually cover it in because this is a template we've made for you, and I don't want to mess it up. So we just find that area with the MP4 in it, and we put the MP4. Then we go back and we do the same thing, and we find our GIF, not our GIF, our OGG file. Okay, same thing. Make public. Okay. When it's done, right-click properties, go get our link, copy our link. Okay. And we go back into this, and then we get the OGG file, and we replace their file or the one I give you on the template with our OGG file. And it puts, so what we're doing is we're just taking the stuff that's already been figured out in a template, and we're just swapping out where these emails, videos are coming from. Now, then we have to put in our fallback. Remember, we had our fallback image, our GIF animation. So here, now when we put in the GIF animation, like I said, one of the things that we want to do in here is images have one nice thing about them is that if you click on them, they'll take you somewhere. So we put in a place where we put in our affiliate link, and you can put in whatever you want. If you want to go to squeeze page, whatever click you try to get them to take to on a normal text hyperlink, you put it in here in this area right after the href equal signs open quotes. You put it in there, okay? Then that's the link. That's the link to where if they click on the image, it'll go to. This one is the actual image. Where is the image? What image am I going to put in this spot? And it goes out to the internet and gets it off of our S3 account and puts it in here. The alt text, this is all if it shows up with no video and there's just an image. But if the images are even turned off, this is where you, after the alt equals open quotes, you put in custom words that you want to type in here between these quotation marks. Don't get rid of the quotation marks. And that's where your alt text will go. So the sequence is, depending on this email goes out to the world, for those that can watch it, they're going to watch it on a browser with a video. If it goes out and they're watching this email and they're logging in through webmail on Firefox, then this is the regular one. Then this is the second one to get on Firefox if they're not on Internet Explorer or Chrome or something like that. After that, we have our link for which this image, which is being served up, will go to. And if the image is turned off, we get our alt text, which is something we either try to get them to turn on images and tell them to turn on images, or we try to just put a sales message in there or a call to action or whatever you want. And then we did this twice. We threw in an extra because we showed that Bond was doing the we'd already inserted theirs. But this normally had the bond waving one, where he's pointing down at the link for you to go click on and stuff like that. Again, we put in right here our link for it to go somewhere, and that was for the image. And just for extra security or extra thing, we just down here, which I don't need to go into HTML coding for you guys, but here's just a regular link. Okay, so the href tells it literally what that link is going to end up going to if you click on it. We just we don't bother to hide, say click here. We could change this to, we could change these words to click here, and the click here will in this, if this were to just spell click here, it would take you to this link which the href source says. Okay, the reason that there's a little bit extra in here is because we're not allowed to click on this WYSIWYG section here. If we do that, what happens is that we've got HTML code and it's trying to go for the generic user of GetResponse, and it's going to add all these headers and footers and formatting and custom stuff that's going to break our code. So we don't want to do that. But we're just glad that we can have this option in GetResponse to be able to, even though we can't go into WYSIWYG, to get an email that does all these neat tricks out. So what this causes is the fact that I'm not running. You can do this if you know how to do HTML coding. You can put in your own div tags. You can put in your own tables. You can do whatever you ever. Because we were in a rush, we just made it simple and we put in these break tags. We made a short column because it might end up on a phone or something. We made short column breaks for each line of the text, and we made it's a BR break, and so we just did and we made one and so we physically basically made this area, the width we see here in the column, the width that we wanted in the email. But even if we had all these carriage returns without this in here, this area without that break tag in there would have treated this as one long line. Until you put the BR tag in there, it's going to just keep going. So you have to break it every time. Now this is a hack, so it's something you have to do to each line. It is some manual work. So what is going on here? So, but the thing is, even when you have an extra line, when you're breaking between a paragraph, an easy way to visually is to make an extra break and then put the BR in there to know that you've actually broke the paragraph to broke the line an additional time. You broke it once here to end the sentence and do basically the same as hitting enter on a keyboard if the cursor was here, but we did it again to make sure that we have a separate paragraph separation. And that's how we got into a simple way of getting you guys a message that I don't know if it'll show up. Can you see that? No, you can't. Here, I'll toggle in and out. So we, it wasn't perfect, but you can see here we put the break tags in here, and so that we could make a semi-neat and lean. If we had more time, we would have made it all pretty. But that's a little HTML coding. I don't want to try to get you guys into that craziness. What I wanted you guys to understand is how the system works, what it's going to do for all your people, and why we got such a tremendous. Some of these people didn't receive the email, but we got an incredible open rate. So I know that's a lot to take in, and we don't need to share the screen anymore. So if you wanted to say something, Vaughn, if someone has a question.
No, you go ahead and keep the screen up there. I like that, but because it'll just be there when my face shot isn't talking. But here's the couple of things that we're going to do, and then I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then we'll call it for the day. But here's the thing. First of all, what we're going to do is Kevin's not only going to share you the template, but there are certain portions because of our technical glitches of the system. We will go ahead and re-record, and and we're going to create a separate video, and we'll send it out to you guys. But along with the links for all of the different software programs and stuff that he's mentioned in the tutorial, and with a higher res recording of his screen, which we can do on Camtasia. showing the more of the details of reforming it, including the template and all of this stuff. So we're still going to be, this isn't the final presentation that you'll see. We'll try and still get you a cleaner version of all this. This is just the first time we've ever captured Kevin explaining how the process works. And the only thing that I want to add to this is I wanted to add a little bit of knowledge about, scroll down just a little bit, Kevin, so that we can see the animated GIF going, of how to think about this. So when you're doing it for marketing, because having video in there will be very impressive to a lot of people right away, just because they're not used to seeing a video inside an email, and they go, and if it's animated GIF and it's just doing this thing, they go, what, really? And the cool thing about that will wear off in time. Just like, at first people didn't put, the first guy to see a picture inside an email was blown away, and then everybody got scared that this meant that there was a virus in there as well, which wasn't the case. And then eventually pictures became a very powerful thing, and you're much more trusted because they were commonplace. As this grows, video will become more. And what you want to do is stay ahead of the curve. And one of the great ways to stay ahead of the curve is understanding the way to look at the tech. So there's a couple things that I want to point out that you can do. One was a great idea that I thought that Kevin did on one of the first animated GIFs we did. You do two types of there's a couple types of GIFs in animated GIFs that you can do. Okay, and I know that that's only one component of this, but one is where you're grabbing everybody's attention. So you're waving your arms widely to make sure that they can understand this is a video going on. The other thing that you want to do is cut off when you're picking your GIF images, try and pick one at the end that looks very close to one at the beginning, because then it's a loop that looks like it's just an ongoing talking, and it takes them longer to figure out that it is on a loop. And then Kevin put the words turn on, click here to turn on sound, and they click there, and then that would take them to the video, which would autoplay. You could do the same thing. You can also do a similar thing when you have your default image. You can do the old standard thing that's pretty common nowadays, but was back in the day, where you take your still image, because that's still going to be a link, an active hyperlink, and make sure that superimposed on it is the arrow button. So this way they're kind of enticed into watching your video. So let's suppose you do a sales video. No matter which content it has to serve up. So if it's the video, it just plays in the email. That's one step they don't have to go to, and that's fantastic. If they don't get that and they have to go to PowerPoint or they go to the animated GIFs, you can also still get them thinking that this is the video, and they're turning it on and starting the same exact video. And you can also do it with the image, the bland, boring image trick, but that's stagnant. It doesn't get the motion. Which is the other thing I want to repeat from what I said at the very beginning, which is when it comes to motion, there's hardly a better attention-getting thing. If you drive down the street, you see those big balloon things waving there, things, or signs that just spin, you notice everything gets attention. But it is in relationship to everything else that's important. So the next thing I want to do is, point out that you need to make sure you're standing out. Think of the GIF part, the one that you can't just show. Okay, first let's start with video. Take video to the next level, and all you have to do is one step ahead. And so for a while there, nobody added sound to their videos, and then people started doing intros, and they started doing exits. And do the stuff that people are doing in your market, but all you have to do is go one little step further towards what you see in professional movies. Like in the professional movies, they clip it a little bit faster than what I'm seeing here, and it's more exciting. So do that one step. Don't go and try and become Steven Spielberg. But to stay ahead of everybody and make your videos stand out, all you have to do is one production value ahead. When it comes down to the animated GIFs or the silent video type of thing, imagine there's a window, and inside you're trying to get people's attention, because the important part to remember, it's about getting their attention and making them want to open that window and see what you've got. So if you got something really cool that can show an awesome demonstration, do it. If you can wave your hands and point down to a link and tell them to turn on that, go ahead and do it. Think of it as a window, and think of all the creative ways that you would try and get somebody's attention through a window where they could not hear you but they can only see you. Holding up signs, pulling up something, some sort of electronic device to do so. think of it in those terms, because then you will get much greater reaction, and a click-through rate with that. And again, all of these things are the same as the last part I'm going to say. When it comes to a still image, it's capturing the emotion that they want and that you want them to get from you. That's the most important part. So, and I mentioned this earlier in one of the earlier modules, which is, if you're trying to sell people on going to a restaurant, you don't want to show an empty restaurant, because nobody wants to eat alone. You want to show an image that's capturing happy people enjoying a family time, or getting their mind off of things, or whatever the emotion and the reason people want to buy that from you. Okay, we'll answer a few more questions. The first module and training video, Carl, I'm going to be sending that to you. When I'm done, I'm going to send everybody we're moving all the videos over into the S3 account, and we have to clean up some. Some of them will have to be reshot because of technical difficulties, but for the most part, you guys are actually seeing the very first version of what will become an email Halbertising course that we're going to probably sell for about $197 or so. And you guys will get access not only to the videos, but as soon as we have, each one is ready and uploaded, and this shouldn't be long at all. This is a priority 2 for us. There's only one thing that's ahead of it. And you guys we'll give you PDF, or not sorry PDFs, but we'll give you all the links to all the information you need. We'll give you higher res captures of the things that Kevin was talking about, and the videos without all the technical glitches in here. They're all chopped out, or re-recorded. So I think that will, and so that you guys can take a look at what Kevin was doing and more or less follow it step by step or frame by frame. Kevin, you there? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I just turned on my mic.
Okay. So yeah, and I have one question for you actually, because I'm very impressed with how much of that you actually had to hack and do. But the question I had for you is, when it comes to designing this, can we get to two things? One, can we give them just a couple templates, like one with a centered framed like table in it that they could then put their copy into? And the second question I have is, let's suppose you did your designing of the copy, you wrote it, and you did it in PageBreeze. Because what I do is I use PageBreeze, and I actually will create the email or do whatever I'm doing the way I want it, and then then go look at the HTML view, copy that, and then put that into and use that as the HTML code I'm using.
Yeah, you can do that. What we're really just trying to do is avoid getting the header part of the stuff. If you hit the WYSIWYG, the thing is that we have certain things. I can show people. Let me see here.
Show everybody how it screws up.
Well, no, I don't even want to do that because
yeah.
It's so frustrating. Let me see. Okay. I can't seem to be able to turn on screen share. That is bizarre.
It's funny because we're seeing your desktop or something.
Are you?
Yeah.
Let me see. Can you see the black screen now?
No.
Oh, you see? Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you, but basically at the top of the template, you have a bunch of this. It's the things that have to tell a browser what kind of HTML page it has, and I'll you know what, I'll paste it in the chat. It's just stupid stuff. But the thing is that if this stuff is being put into this page, but the thing is, if you hit WYSIWYG, what GetResponse is going to do, and they're not built to tolerate a hack, is they're going to go and get rid of that data and put their own data on top of it. But because everything that comes below it that sets up the media queries on the devices is dependent on that header, it gets erased. And so that header gets erased, and then it gets replaced with the other one, which breaks the connection. So what the thing is that you can go into any other piece of software, an HTML coding software, and you can wrap create this table or this data or stuff like that, and wrap that data around it, or go into the HTML view of something you've created that looks pretty. It's inside of a frame. It's got a template. It's got good margins, all that stuff. You can copy that section, and then because you're in the HTML code section, you cannot copy the way it looks place. You have to copy it with all the code, with the break tags and p tags and all that, and then you can paste it into the center of this template I've got. You just can't hit WYSIWYG on it.
So in plain English, though, for guys like me, you can take this template, go to a program like PageBreeze, in their design phase, make it the pretty thing that you need to make it. Look into the HTML view, copy all of that text, and paste it into the GetResponse HTML form, and it should work, because it then wouldn't have the header of GetResponse.
Yes. But the thing is that if you wanted to go and put the videos and stuff inside the middle of that stuff, then you'd have to know a little bit more coding to know the injection point where you inject the two video types and the alternate GIF and all that stuff. You have to know how to inject that, and then you have to be careful. You have to watch the dimension sizes, because if you have a table that's of a certain dimension size, you could get a conflict if that table dimension size is smaller than the video size. So what you want to do is, you can go in and change these video sizes. If you have a different size video, but if you change it, you got to know what they are before you upload them, and say, oh, this is a 640 by 480, and then you have to go down to the code that we've been looking at, showing everyone examples of, and change the two numbers. You got to change the height, you got to change the width, put those in, and then it'll make that video. But I highly warn against that, because Email on Acid did a ton of studies, and as far as the most ubiquitous, can see it on everything, works on everything, right size, doesn't mess up, I wouldn't mess with these numbers. I've got a lot of free man hours of homework figured out on what size works on all devices. So as far as an email is concerned, maybe, So,
yeah, no, I think, look, we'll just provide a couple basic templates. One, with, put text above the video, the link for the video, and the stuff below, it's text for below it. But yeah, no, I think, because I think it would be, what will be neat is, maybe we'll do a little video that shows doing some basic editing and working with it in PageBreeze, and then just pasting it over.
Perhaps. The question becomes, who are we showing this to? Because a person already knows HTML is nodding their head going, I know that stuff, I know that stuff. If we got another person, they're going to be,
oh, no, but
I'm lost.
No. I'm the guy who would normally get lost. The thing is, when you do it in PageBreeze, because it doesn't, it's cooler, you go back over to the, you look in the design view, your P and BR breaks are a matter of whether you're holding the Shift key and hitting Enter or not. So I'm not really doing any kind of coding, and then I can say, okay, I can put the cursor right where I'm going to want to put some text, and then go to the HTML and see where that cursor is.
Well, okay, if you guys want to know another little hack, using PageBreeze, using some of the other email clients and some of the HTML editors, there's always, you can create it visually, and then there's a mode you toggle into that shows you the code that was used to make it. And if the trick though is, if you want that code, and you can mess this part up, and it's kind of a hit or miss, is you go into the mode where you're looking at it in the design view where it's beautiful, and you can do this in like Dreamweaver, and you highlight and select all the text, or all the text and the graphics and all the HTML elements you want, but only those, not the full of the top and not any part of the bottom. If there's a footer with that's ending the page, saying with an HTML close tag or a body tag or something like that, or at the top. But if, let's say, you have a bunch of stuff and smack dab in the middle is this beautiful table that's formatted perfectly and all this other stuff, you can highlight that table in the design view, toggle over to the HTML view, and usually it's automatically highlighted for you, the code that made up that design element. Copy that code, walk over, take it over into GetResponse in the code view, find out the place above and below, between the text, the paragraph above and paragraph below, put an insertion point, hit enter so you have a space to separate the two paragraphs, and you go paste, and that sucker will put it smack dab between what came before it, above it, and the page, and what came below it.
I do that, and I don't know a lick of code. And when we we'll show it on a video to show what we're talking about, because it'll be more clear to those who don't understand it. Because it really is easier than it sounds.
Yeah.
When you're showing it. Okay, guys. Well, yep. Well, this one went longer, and we're going to need to do a little chopping of it and stuff like that. So give us plenty of time to get this ready, prepare the links and stuff like that. But we're going to send you everything to make sure that you are complete and you have everything you need to make this happen, and we'll do it right away. Okay, and thank you everybody for coming out and joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for your patience and hanging on. And
oh yeah. I think out of all the webinars, we had one that went smoothly as far as the technical webinar. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the content that we provided throughout the series and everything. And this is our first run through with Webinar Jam. So every time we try something new, like going on the internet in sharing view or something like that, it messes up on us. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Tim. And thank you, Carl. I know you're out there as well. And I really appreciate it. So we will talk to you guys soon, and you'll get another email from us soon with explaining all with all the resources that we're talking about. Okay, everybody. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
And you'll have to end the broadcast, Kevin.
I am. Not cooperating though.
You're stuck forever.
Tech hell. How am I supposed to teach the world this stuff and I can't get it under control?
You know what? This thing is completely buggy.
Very.
But the thing is, once you work it out, like the last one I did went nice and smooth. But that was because I had already figured out the 4 little quirks and things that I did to mess it up before.
It won't shut down.
Okay, up at the top where it says leave call, where you would mute your microphone or your camera.
Oh, hang up? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because if you're the organizer, I think if you leave...
It's not listening either.
Wow.
Just kill the app.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Talk to everybody later.
All right. Yeah, I hate that app.
Actually, normally if you get it, the only problem with it is the 60-second delay once you understand how it works. Did you close down the task? Use your task manager to close it?
No, it's still playing. Hold on a second. I'm just going to shut my computer off. Driving me nuts.